I've always wanted to get one of these Starrett machinist levels, but they're way too expensive for me and I don't really need it, so it's hard to justify paying that much for it. So instead, I've ordered a Starrett vial like this one, along with this little side vials, which is about 1/10 of a price, and decided to make a base for it myself. This is a drawing that I'll use as a reference, which is not exact, obviously, just to get an idea of what I would like for it to look like. And I'll be using a 1x2x12" aluminum block, which I already have, and I'll attempt to mill it on my bench drill press using this cheapo Chinese-made XY table. See what happens, for the first time, by the way. We'll test it out. I'll start by cutting the block to the length, which is going to be about 7 inches long. The level itself is 6 inches, but I need to leave a little space for the side vials. As you see, I'm cutting each side little by little because I don't know, for some strange reason, and I don't know if it happens to you as well, my saw is always running towards left or towards the right bottom. Mostly towards the right, I think. But in any case, this is how I'm gonna cut it, each side, about 1/8 of an inch at a time, and it will keep the channel as you cut will keep it straight. So the end result is going to be fairly straight cut. Of course, you can use a bandsaw, which most of us don't have. And off we go with the milling. Like I said, this is the first time I'm doing milling on my setup here on a drill press and XY table. Well, this is the first time me milling ever. This setup is good for milling a plastic or a wooden piece, so milling an aluminum is quite tricky. Gotta go very, very slow, otherwise the whole thing starts shaking and screaming back at you. So, as you can imagine, it took me forever to do these cuts. Just making sure that it's square and the setup I have is actually running true. Now I'm drilling a hole for the Y or the side axis file. Now I'm starting with long and tedious milling for the top and the bottom. Sorry, as you see here on the side, I've already cut out a window for the side vial. It didn't catch on the camera, it stopped recording for some reason, and but you see here on the left side of the piece, the window is already cut out. Obviously, I'm not going to talk about the whole process because it's really more of the same. I'm just making sure that the sides are nicely cut and all square, and chamfering the corners, as you'll see here in a second, and everything is true and square to the rest of the body of the base. This is what the piece looks like so far. I did the top part here, and now I'm gonna cut out the bottom channel. In case you're wondering, I'm taking about 0.5 millimeter off at a time, no more than that. Otherwise it starts shaking and screaming. A few hours later. And thank God, the most tedious part is done. Now I'm gonna drill and tap the holes to hold the actual Starrett vial in place. Even though I measured a few times, I'm still gonna test fit, make sure the vial aligns. Then I used, I think it was a 600 grit paper to clean up all the sides before using a Scotch-Brite for the final matte finish look. And the final assembly. Finally. Aligning a level is not as tricky as you might think. You don't need a perfectly leveled surface to do this. All you need is somewhat leveled surface, just good enough so the bubble doesn't hit either side when it's leveled. Basically, you're finding the average of the 2 points when turning the level 180 degrees. So you keep leveling it until it reaches the same slow point when turning it around 180 degrees. And you can use fixed backing like a block or a ruler, which I did, to push its side against that fixed point. If it doesn't make sense now, keep watching the video and you'll understand. It's not that difficult, I promise. I didn't use the same technique for the side level because there wasn't much wiggle room. It was pretty tight fit, and I used hot glue to set it in place. But after I aligned the main level, I measured it and it was right on the money. It was just luck, I guess. And voila, this is my Starrett level. If you liked the video, well, you know what to do. Until next time.